And we can just start our meeting. We're going to call meeting to order. Jeremy?
Here.
Charles?
Here.
Sean? Absent. Martha? Here. Roger?
Here.
Belinda? Absent. We have a quorum. Now I'd like to entertain the possibility of a motion so that we could, a motion and a second and a vote, to correct the errors. I gave each of you a corrected copy of the minutes. It's highlighted, it's going to be hard not to see.
Was this the one I emailed?
Yes. And you know, the crazy thing is that I
was
had
very
one at
confused why
2024.
The one had stuff from Sean showing up at 7:15 and whatnot, and I was like, I don't think this is right. Like,
No, I just did the header wrong. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So, do I have a motion to accept the corrections for the study session 2024, 2023 to 2024, the actual meeting 2023 to 2024, and the minutes from the meeting on Wednesday, April 17, 2023 to 2024. I know that's a mouthful.
I'll make the motion
Okay, I've got a motion from Roger Ogletree. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
And Martha second. Jeremy?
yeah.
Charles?
Yeah.
Sean is absent. Martha?
Yay.
Roger?
to, yay.
Belinda is absent. So the motion carries, so we can have a meeting. All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, before you go to the next thing, there's just something I would like to say real quick. There are three people in this village that I've got to give a big hand to. When that shed the door was destroyed on it. Roger, he was the one that reported, I practically got there and put the boards up on it without being asked. And then Jeremy, I called him. He brought a lock over within 5 minutes, dropped everything else he was doing.
Oh my.
And also the other one is Donnie Weber. He's the one that actually noticed it first. Because we wouldn't have noticed it with the shed being like it is back in there. It's hard to see. But I just want to give them a big thank you because they did not have to do that at all.
Thank you. Keep open meeting.
Okay.
All right, let's vote to approve minutes from the meeting on Wednesday, April 17, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Wasn't there only 4 leaks as of the last meeting? There was 6. Okay.
That's why I listed those on the agenda to make sure.
There's 8 on.
Did I accidentally write too many? Okay, 106 Church, 82.
Oh, 2 are unoccupied. That's why.
Two
Gotcha.
are which?
2 are unoccupied. Why are they yours,
Oh.
Roger? 2 of the addresses?
Which one was they at?
Because there's 8, but 2 of them, nobody lives.
Which ones did you say those were?
101 Wesley, that would be.
Okay.
The list I have, there's only 6.
I wrote them down. It was 106 Church, 802 North Johnson, 103 West
101
High.
Wesley, because that'd be the Bosch house.
Okay.
And I don't think any of these others. 802 North
Oh.
Johnson.
The other one's probably April.
Is that Casey's house? 802?
North
North
Johnson.
Jones? Oh, that'd be, that's
Yeah,
what I thought,
106
so.
Lincoln, I read that one.
That's what I wrote. That
You got a second after
was
this, I'm pretty sure.
rambling.
That house, the last one on the left, before you leave town.
106
And I never back on, there's something coming off the, backside of that. There's water, I'm pretty sure it's a slow.
Lincoln, 106.
I don't know. Maybe I misdid that one, so.
I know it's not coming from the other side, but there's like a flow.
You don't have a
when
Lincoln
it's turning back
Okay.
on. So I think we got slow.
Okay, so Lincoln-
I'm sure we do.
So,
So it would be a motion if there's a motion to amend? Yes, the Lincoln part, right? Okay, sorry. Okay, but the one is unoccupied, 101 West. Okay,
Okay.
so this one needs to be taken off, okay.
So I make a motion to amend the
Okay,
water leak
List,
addresses?
very good.
yeah,
Can I have a
It
second?
says it's got a broken hill, kick one Wesley.
101 Wesley.
yeah, but unoccupied, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be fixed.
Fixed, yes,
initially.
but,
It's gotta be
yes,
fixed, Wesley.
Yeah.
okay. Everybody's on board.
I need a second, please.
I'll second
Okay, Gardner has seconded. Jeremy,
Yay.
Charles,
yeah.
Sean is absent, Martha, Roger,
it. Yay.
Melinda is absent, and vote carries. Okay. Second.
So now we need to vote to
Approve the
Approve.
amended.
approve the.
Yes,
Approve
now
the
that.
amended.
Sorry about that.
Oh, dude, it's fine.
Do I have a motion to approve the amended minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Roger is voting to approve the amended minutes. I need a second, please.
1 second.
Jeremy is second. Just a second. Okay. Jeremy,
Yay.
Charles,
Yeah.
Sean is absent, Martha,
Yeah.
Roger,
Yay.
Melinda is absent. Carries. Okay. On to the treasurer's report.
Here again, I don't feel like this treasurer's report needs to be approved because I am still not being able to get in here and double check that report before it becomes to the board. And I'm getting real tired of it.
How do we remedy that? How can we get him to get in contact with Martha? What would be the easiest way to,
Or Martha to get in contact with him.
where's that to, I guess? Does she have his contact information?
I didn't hear a word you said.
Do you have his contact information, the treasurer?
I've had his, I've contact information and sometimes I get hold of him, sometimes I can't.
He does
I
call
know he's busy and I understand that, but if we had a regular date set up to where we could just meet down here, and it wouldn't take 10 minutes to approve that report. That's what I'm getting at on, because we're technically violating state law on this by not having that report initialed by me. So, I mean, we can push it, but I'm not going to approve any reports until we start doing it the right way.
Martha, when you say reports, are you talking about the bank statements or like I used to
Yeah, the
get
bank
used to
statements.
bank statements like
Right.
I used to get?
I haven't seen a bank statement since you quit doing the treasurer's report.
Anything else?
No, I've said all of them.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Hearing that, I've got a motion to table it.
If I don't hear a motion, we can table the treasurer's report and not approve it until June.
Would that be acceptable if you look at both
Yes,
of them, Martha?
if we can get, get on the schedule here. And like I said, most times it only took me 10 to maybe 15 minutes if I was able to follow. Because Lori's was very easy to follow, and most of the treasurer's reports have been easy to follow.
I disagree, I never found them easy to follow.
Like
This is the most, this makes more sense to me than anything else.
Well,
And the rest of it is checkbook, balancing a checkbook, but that's my 2 cents. We're gonna table this until June.
I would take the motion. Did anyone make a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay, Jeremy's making the motion to table until June, and seconded by
I'll second
Martha. Okay, let's vote. Jeremy?
Yay.
Charles?
Yay.
Sean? I'm sorry. Martha?
it. Okay.
Roger?
Yay.
Linda's absent. And vote to table till June passes. All right, water department report. I don't even know what to say about leaks, because it kind of moves us into B, special recommendations. 6 leaks, I think we just addressed those addresses. Now, Ryan, I spoke to Dodds Construction. He gave me a quote of 4,000, but you were thinking it might be a little bit more than that.
It's 4 to 6,500 somewhere in there.
Okay.
He wants to do time and material to save some money.
Even though we did not approve the treasurer's report, you might notice that we do have a little bit of money that we can spend on some of these things. And I'm recommending that we do spend it to repair the meters at these addresses.
In which account? Just so that we don't forget.
Let's see.
The water or general?
Water, and then if we have to move money over from the general, that'll have to be done.
Okay.
But right now, there's nothing in water, we can do it.
I mean, realistically, every month that we have meters not working, we're
Losing money,
So
exactly.
it's kind of, if we can feasibly do it without catastrophically hemorrhaging ourselves, I feel like maybe we ought to do that.
Okay, so can I have a motion to hire Dodds Construction for time and material for these addresses for the sum of 4,000 to possibly 6,500?
You said 6, it's the 6 and the 1 uninhabited, correct? Is there 7 total?
6 total.
It's 6 total, so because we still have a 7th then that is not the Lincoln one.
Do you want to clarify this?
There's Church, Johnson, High, Wesley, Sheridan, Wesley, and Sherman.
He said one of the Wesleys is the dog or the.
Well, that would be the
Okay.
uninhabited one.
Okay.
So it'd be 6 and 6 and 1.
Okay, so what is,
It's still leaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, well, I mean, because, so you can see,
I know.
there's 7 total that I'm seeing.
What's this one?
North Sherman, 109.
I don't have it on my list.
So it is just 6. So 109 North Sherman is not on the list either.
So we're going to take off 109 North Sherman.
Yes.
Okay,
106 John, 802 North Johnson, 103 West High, 106 Wesley, 106 Sheridan, and 101 Wesley. Are we all agreed on that?
Said 802 Johnson, correct?
802 North
802
Johnson,
in
yes.
North Johnson, yeah.
So yeah, then yeah, it would be to accept the 6.
Okay, could I have a motion, please?
Well, I've got a question here. 103 High Street, which one is that?
103 West High says the yoke's leaking at the connector.
I think Roger Meeker's house.
It's,
Is it at
it's the
a,
one on
at
the
a meter
corner,
pit?
I think.
Is that Giletta's old house?
I believe so.
That one doesn't have a meter. I thought
It
it
shouldn't.
was house.
No, when I used to read meters, that one's taxied off of Dave Tuttle's.
It's leaking at the yoke.
No, Giletta's got a
It
meter.
does have a meter.
Is the 109 Sherman?
Been shut off for
Melinda's
30
house?
years.
I bet.
Oh, is it Melinda's house? Because she swears it's leaking.
No, because that wouldn't be High Street.
No, Sherman.
this is the
Oh,
Sherman
Sherman,
one.
sure, my bad.
Mm.
Because yeah, that's.
These are the leaks that they found when they did the lead
Survey.
survey.
I wonder if that is.
So it is just the 6th though, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the 6th.
Okay.
North Sherman is not on there.
So do I have a motion to hire Dodds, or were there any other questions?
That motion that hire Dodds at time and material.
Okay, the second, Charles is making the motion to hire Dodds. I need a second, please.
I'll second.
Jeremy is seconding. Okay,
Okay, can I stop just a minute?
Sure.
I've got a question. This 109 North Sherman, where is that at?
Like I said, I think
Because-
that's Melinda's house.
No,
It's
I'm
not-
104 Sherman.
That's not, well, I just looked it up on my maps and it looks like it pulled up at Melinda's house.
Which I think she was added on because she was thinking that her meter was broken, but she just wasn't aware of how to read it.
I think so too.
So,
Okay, I didn't,
But
the
it's
others
not on his 6 list.
Yes.
His 6 listed.
is what they found when they vacuumed the pits. Yes, okay.
okay, that just seems strange that there's such a difference in the addresses that I'm right across the street from.
Oh, sick.
We're actually 104 where the house is, and 102 is next to us, but we go by 102.
Oh.
We own both,
Hell yeah.
but the government puts us at 102 instead of 104. But anyway, yes.
Um,
No, I know, weird.
I'll second Charles's motion.
Okay.
all right, let's vote.
Yeah, it's weird.
Jeremy,
Yay.
Charles,
Yay.
Sean is absent, Martha,
Yeah.
Roger,
Yay.
Melinda's absent.
Okay.
And
And that was to pull the funding out of the water account.
yes,
Okay.
yes, motion passes. Great. And I do apologize, I know Charles's name goes before Jeremy's. Oh, yeah, I gotta do that one too.
Yes, you skipped that one.
I skipped
It's all right, I'm
that.
watching.
That's right, you're my eagle eyes. All right, the engineer normally comes and does motor fuel tax. I neglected to put it on April's agenda, and he does need to get paid, and so, I am having on this, and this is a normal expense that we have every year. I don't believe it made it to the budget. Another reason that we do have to vote to approve it. And the subtotal is $1,417.80. You should have a copy of it, of the bill. I would like a motion to accept to pay him.
I'll make the motion.
Roger is making the motion to accept payment to him, or to pay him. And I need a second, please.
I'll second.
And Jeremy is seconding. Okay, gosh. I type bad. You have no K in your name. Please, let's vote. Jeremy?
Yay.
Charles?
Yay.
Sean is absent. Martha?
Yeah.
Roger?
Yay.
Belinda is absent. Carries, we will pay the engineer for MFT. All right, this is not anything that you're voting on, but I wanted you to be aware of it. I gave you a copy, and it's 4 pages, the annual CCR for 2023. Ryan got that to me, that I would like to send that out with June's water bills. That is something that is given to everyone every year. A lot of times it is, for instance, at my house, I have a mailbox that doesn't get used, and that's where I know Bill in the past has given that to us, but my preference is to put it in with water bills. We'll let you be aware and keep that copy.
Okay, now, I'm sorry, can you back up? You're talking way too fast for me right now.
Oh, probably the coffee. There is a CCR, wait a minute, I don't have a copy of it, but everybody else should. It's a 4-pager.
Okay.
Yeah, did you want to explain that, what that was, Ryan?
Every year it's a consumer confidence report. We have to report what we've done with the water. And it's an annual thing that has to be done before July.
So you have a copy, and you will be getting a copy with your water bill in June.
When do they get mailed out in June?
Pardon me, oh, they get mailed out like around the first of the month.
Okay.
That's okay with
Was
you?
that early enough?
I was thinking May's bills, but yeah.
May's bill went out 1st of May.
So they go out the first of the month.
They do go out the 1st of the month because they're due by the 14th, and then late charges from the 14th to the 20th, and then afterwards, we can shut them off.
As long as they have them out before July 1, I don't care.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, I'm just gonna pass this around. I didn't think everybody needed a copy of it. When Suzette asked me to get 10 rolls of stamps, I'm like, what, $680? It just seemed like a lot of money. And the subject has come up before about the possibility to switch as many people over to emailing their water bills as possible. This is just kind of like Ryan had a straw vote last meeting. I want a vote to start considering if we can start doing this, and I'm not sure that we can implement this in the next few months, but it would sure be nice if we could do it maybe by August. And I also would like to make a recommendation that we have a surcharge after that for anyone who wants their bills snail mailed.
Now that I do object to, because I'm on my email is down. So I'm being penalized if we're going to start charging me for mailing my water bill to me. And I can name off probably 10 to 15 people around me that'll be in the same fix. And they will be, and I don't blame them because we put in the water increase, which they're finally getting used to. But we start doing this on top of it, I just feel very uncomfortable with it. I really do.
And
Doing it this quick.
not to call out any specific type of people, but a lot of elderly people have a very hard time navigating.
Exactly. And I'm not kidding, I'm elderly, and the only thing I have is and I feel like I get a pretty decent check. But by the time all the bills come out of it, there's not just a whole lot left. And if we keep adding this to it, I mean, you're gonna have probably people, either having strokes or heart attacks, honestly, because I've had several people say to me, how do you survive? And I said, well, I just keep cutting back. I mean,
Carefully.
you get to a point you cannot cut back too much. Well, you're probably in the same position. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's one of those things, it's a very prickly subject just because it's not just that, there's a lot of people that prefer having a physical, tangible thing to hold, and to penalize people for that. I would almost say if they are willing to go to paperless billing, take the what was the amount? $3, take that off of their bill.
That's
Rather than go the opposite way and charge them more, give people an incentive to go the other route.
That's why I wanted a discussion on this.
Good. Yeah, I like a physical piece of paper too.
You said that much better than I could.
No
That's for
problem.
sure.
He redid it for you.
Jeremy read my mind.
Okay, now this is something we discussed and didn't really pursue. We did get the second half of the grant. Construction, they received their check today. We've got one more check to go out. And then the whole account is depleted and grant is gone.
But everything's taken care of. Or will be.
No. I had help. Melinda has gone and gotten me a number of,
Well, no, I mean, the stuff that the grant was specifically for, we now
Yes.
have enough money to take care of all that.
yes, everything was approved by the EPA. And
Yes.
our audit should be pretty easy.
So, that being said, will we get penalized in any way, shape, or form if we do not turn in anymore of the inspections?
They're being real cagey about it.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things when we draw the money back out of our account.
Well, there's gonna be nothing left, but
Well, that's what I
you
mean.
mean, are they gonna charge us?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you,
Yes.
from the emails that I've gotten, like I said, they're real cagey about it. They're not saying definitively, don't worry about it, but they're also not saying, don't get us 100%.
I mean, at this point, at the risk of aggravating people that are already aggravated more, I would say it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission at this point and just roll with it,
I
rather
would
than-
disagree. We're dealing with the government and, the big government. Anyway, I was gonna say, there are a number of things I think we can do, and we have maybe half. Because we're so small. Ryan was telling me that over in Homer, they don't have all of them, but you're, 1,500 in Homer, something like that? Population? 1,200, right. So if they had half, it would be 600. Us with half, we're talking about not that many.
that's the
But it's
thing
still
is-
a cross-section of the
Yes.
community.
Yeah.
It's the same reflection of the
Yeah,
water
it's
system.
not quite, it's a percentage, not a per capita thing. Like,
Yeah, but this is your idea.
as far as what, no, that was,
$50.
that was in jest. None of us were serious about charging people
You didn't
about
tell
it.
me that.
Yeah, no, that was all, like, we were joking about the fact that we need to charge people for that because we've hit our milestone or where we need to be. There's not really any need to go after them any harder.
Well, we'll put it in the minutes. And, I mean, you all can think about it. I'm gonna put this thing up for a vote in June. And if you decide not to pursue and get 100% of these, it's gonna be the record that you all voted that way. Now, I totally disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. I think it's not gonna be that difficult for, us to have members that go to somebody's door and say, can we do this for you? Instead of saying, no, we're not gonna bother you at all. It certainly, you tell me, Ryan, it wasn't our idea to get this information. It was from the EPA. Are you, Ryan? It wasn't our idea to get this information.
Right, it's from EPA.
It's from the EPA.
But the EPA also okayed what we have, right?
I'm sorry,
It's the
what?
same- The EPA is who okayed the amount we sent in, right?
They okayed that as a minimum.
I mean, a minimum's a minimum. Like, as long as they're happy with the numbers, it's.
I don't think we can make everyone fill out a survey. I mean, we can ask them for them.
I think we can help them though.
Not-
We can help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Can we help them?
The other aspect of that is, having been in a lot of the crawl spaces in town already, there's quite a few of them that are not accessible in that way. We cannot see you can't physically get to the piping
Well, I
unless
should,
you cut up their floor.
I know, but I should send you what some of the results are. Many of them are opening up the meter pit and just looking.
But the meter pits isn't what we're going after. The meter pits are.
Yeah, meter pits are done.
Meter pits are done.
The Dodds conducted that
Yes.
whole aspect
The only
of
thing
that.
that's
They're
needed
wanting the materials
It's what's
going inside the house. That's
That
all
was
that
what
survey
it
is
is.
pertaining to.
I will
It's
ask the
done.
EPA for more advice over this, but again, what I read into it was they want all of them. They want 100%.
Why don't you ask for a clarifying email and bring
Okay.
the email to the board's attention, that way they can make a decision based on
Yes.
what the answer is.
Sounds
Because I think
great.
you're trying to say you're trying to avoid a fine
Mhm.
from the EPA for violation, but I don't know the answer to what they're saying.
Well, the fine would be paid back to 20,000. But I will go ahead and do that. Okay. Thank you for your input. Martha, you have the floor regarding the Champaign County Animal Control, and I have some questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it $304.64 a year, or is that a month?
Yes. No, that's a year.
That is
for
a
the
year.
That's for the year, yes. Yeah, I wouldn't have brought back anything
gonna
that's
say,
going
yeah,
back
yeah.
per month.
I'll catch you on this.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I've got a net.
Is there anything that they have told you to the cost of housing any dangerous
I mean,
animals?
doesn't our ordinance
They
have
come
a thing where they
and
have
pick
to?
them up and take them to.
Our ordinance is moved until we repass it. It's not,
I thought you already passed that.
no, we didn't remember, that was the one that was misstated.
Oh, I don't know.
It was the dangerous animal ordinance that was misstated.
So they come and pick them up from the house or wherever they're at and take them to the shelter. And then as far as.
They don't take them to the shelter, they take them to animal control.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So they take them to animal control. The last contract they proposed to you guys, which we reviewed with the board, and you'd have to get the contract from them. Have they given you a proposed contract?
No,
Okay.
no.
If you could look into that, I would appreciate it.
So you're moving that you enter into a contract and bring a contract to the board's attention, is that you?
Well, that's what, I
That
was
you wanna
asking,
bring a
because we have not
contract.
had a contract in probably 5 years, I would say. I'm just guessing on it because it's been a while.
Now, we
But-
did used to pay the animal control yearly.
Yeah,
And then they would send a report just that monthly that said how many dogs where dogs and cats were taken.
Now that I did not remember.
And now whether or not they're still doing that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
we used to pay that yearly.
The last contract negotiations dissolved because the board was unhappy that they were going to bill you for any animals that were
Right.
removed for the daily storage, any veterinary care, and you were going to pay those bills without say, so to speak.
Gotcha.
This board is a different number of people that might have different feelings on that, but the
Right.
previous board was concerned.
Was
Well,
that
and
taken
then-
care of with the, I mean, obviously the ordinance doesn't work right now, but there's wording in that ordinance.
That they could take those animals, but the problem was that the contract, the reason it's only $300-ish is that the contract requires you to pay the daily storage.
I thought it was
the
wording in there
veterinarians.
that the owner of the animal has to pay.
You
the
do,
town
so
back.
then you, the village, would sue the owner, but
Gotcha.
then you're
Okay.
taking the cost of suing and collecting from the owner
Gotcha.
to then pay back the bill that you already extended to the animal control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
But this is different constitution of people who may have a different opinion on that. That is where things dissolved last time.
Which is, I mean, understandable, because generally people that have their animals taken don't like to pay for them.
Right, that was the concern, and so my suggestion is, if you're entertaining it, I think it's a good thing to entertain. I brought the contract to the body the last time it came around, and that didn't go anywhere. I wasn't coming to the meetings, I wasn't, asked to, but it didn't go anywhere at that point. I just suggest you guys read the contract.
Yeah.
And the only reason I brought it up was because we have had trouble with animals, dogs in town, attacking other animals in town and killing them. I mean, then I always worry about the kids, you never know. Because we have had people in town that there's been quite a few that's letting their animals run loose. And this is what we've got to stop. And that's why, we've got to start writing up these ordinance violations and sending them out to them. Maybe then they'll get the picture, because it's getting ridiculous when I can wake up on a Sunday morning and there'll be 3 dogs running around my yard. And I have no clue who they belong to. And I'm not about to go out and try to catch, which I couldn't anyway, but, because I don't want to take a chance on getting bit. But that's the reason why I thought that we,
I mean, it's definitely not a bad idea in any way, shape, or form. Having some sort of ability to get those animals removed from
right.
any area where they can potentially cause an issue is kind of important. I mean, nobody wants to see a kid get attacked, or elderly person, or anyone for that matter, I guess. So,
Lost a cat that way.
And so can I suggest that we field a contract from animal control so we can review it and see if it's something we would like to do? Or if it's an agreement we can feasibly do.
That's a good idea.
That way we're not guessing about what
Idea.
their expectation
Yeah.
is. We'll know what their side
in
would
tandem
cover.
with that, because that's a potential portion as well, can we get a copy of the old dangerous animal ordinance at the same time and go
And
over it and
revisit
vote
it.
that in
we have got a copy
and
of
redate
that
it?
It's
here in the office. I think we ran across that last week, didn't we, Bill?
in the books.
Because really, if we
It's in the
do them
agreement.
simultaneously, that would be,
Yeah, I drafted one, I don't know what happened to.
yeah.
I have a copy of it on my computer too.
But if is that something we can feasibly do? If we have a written up thing, we can say, okay, yes, this matches what we want. We would like to vote this into being, and that's
Yes,
ready to rock and roll.
yes, because
Okay.
there was one drafted, I just don't know what happened to the execution on it.
Okay. So then, I guess I'd like to make a motion to contact animal control and have a contract written up for us to go over, as well as have the old proposed ordinance brought in and given to each person so they can go over it and we can vote on both the contract and the ordinance.
I'm assuming they have just a standard contract
They
that
do.
they deal with every,
Yep,
I would imagine.
they have a standard contract.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeremy's made the motion, these are my words, sorry, to resurrect the dangerous animal ordinance, contact animal control and have contract. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, just whatever their contract is sent over. We're not gonna sign it at the meeting necessarily, but I would like to have their
Standard
actual.
contract.
Yeah, we will go over this during a standard contract and decide whether it's something we would like to pursue.
Okay,
I would think you'd be able to just email them and they can send a copy.
and so I need a second, please.
Second.
And Charles seconded. Let's vote, please. Jeremy?
Yay.
Charles?
Yay.
Sean is absent. Martha?
Yeah,
Roger?
Yay.
Balloon is absent. And the vote carries. Okay. Mowing bids. I told you last meeting, I didn't want to do it.
Well, we don't need to.
Yes, I talked to Post Mowing, we apparently, looking at what you handed out at the last meeting, that is a unsigned, but he does have the signed contract.
Okay,
That's a 3-year contract, he's covered through the end of the year.
Okay.
So we don't have to put it before bid until next year. But he does have the signed contract, and he did state, once we sell or close on that exit lot, expense will drop, as well as once we start ground prep for the pollinator program, which they'll be coming in at the end of August to start. And they offer all the seating personnel, all the material, everything. All we're gonna do is, we got a couple volunteers, we'll do ground prep, and that'll all be seated for next spring. That will also prorate the rate down, which we shouldn't have that many mowings after that anyway.
okay, and I missed one. Jeremy, you had mentioned about grants. I didn't know if you had any updates.
No.
Okay.
I was a little confused by it myself when I saw it. I was like, I don't remember.
Well,
Yes,
it
no,
sounded-
no.
It was
there
very
there
exciting, I
not.
had to
Yeah.
put it on there. Okay, I spoke to Spring Green, they actually contacted me a number of times, and then we started texting. And for mosquito abatement, starting this month, it's $150 a month, and I'm hoping that we could vote to just pay $600 and pay for the entire season, and be done with it.
Have we done it in the past?
Yes, every year.
Did it actually do anything? Because Tuscola did it and it didn't do jack shit.
I think it helps. They
Just
spray
being
the
asking is
ditches
all.
where
Yeah,
the water
yeah.
pools and then it goes from, yeah.
Yeah, because
And
they
you've
did the
got
same thing in
ditches.
Tuscola
Yeah.
and it was horrendous. I didn't
No,
know
I
if you guys
think-
had better.
I know they do the pellets and
Yeah, I think
They do.
the drains.
Mm.
They haven't done any of the fogging for, I've seen them once in the last several years, is the only.
It's probably because the contract lapsed and we wasn't doing any of it. I imagine. We don't have any active contracts with
We
them.
don't have a contract. What do you want to do? Do you want to make a motion that we pay them and we ask for a contract, or do you want to shelve this for a month? What do you want to do?
Can we get a list of what all they propose to do
Okay, so we'll
First.
table this.
so we know what they're charging us for?
It's kind of what I wanted to, but they can give it to me. So we're going to vote to get probably contract and details, thank you. Can I get a motion to vote to get a contract and details from Spring Green?
I will.
Jeremy is making a motion. Second, please.
Second.
Charles, second. Okay. Let's vote. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Charles?
Yay.
Sean's absent. Martha?
yeah.
Roger?
Yay.
Belinda's absent. Vote carries. Okay. All right, I got some of my notes out of order. Ordinances. Roger asked me to put it on the agenda because I forgot. So you have the floor.
So I think number one, we should need to start with the nuisance ordinance because we've got several nuisances around town that need to be taken care of. The one that's in the book seems to be valid. I don't know why it would be deemed not valid. It's 11-2000. I can't figure out why it's not valid because it is signed and dated.
Does it have the memorandum of publication? And who's the clerk?
Oh, I don't have that in front of me right now.
Okay.
It's in the book.
What type of nuisance?
Land use,
Oh, so like weed ordinance or?
no, it's
Yeah.
for trash and.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think we've had one case for sure taken to court and we won. If I remember, this
It's
was,
been more than one.
yeah, the one I remember is back, I don't know, 6-7 years ago at least, because ever since then, we really haven't been pushing this stuff like we should have been. But yeah, I'm fully confident with Roger on that this is a good ordinance, and that people around town, and I think the reason why the town is starting to look like it is because they know we're not gonna do anything about it, but that's when we need to start sending out the violations.
Yeah, because it's all around town, everybody goes, we know you don't have any valid.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys on the board don't know what you're doing anyway. That's what I've heard before, so.
Were there any other ordinances that you want to make?
Oh, there's a lot of them, but we're gonna need to start with this one.
We're doing it very slowly, we're doing the most important ones first, so we just brought one to the board tonight.
Because here's the deal, if it doesn't have a memorandum, we can vote, we can bring it to the board and vote it in.
Well, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, see, it's still an
Okay.
ordinance, it's just the enforceability of going to court on it, because I need to call either this Janet Shelley or Ronald, I can't read the last name. Tatman. So I could call one of them as a witness, because they signed to it as an alternative, but then I'd have to explain why they didn't follow, the statute.
So can we vote tonight to make that a valid ordinance?
If you want to vote in the same ordinance, we could. It
Well,
probably doesn't-
I think we need to start
Yes.
there.
Right.
And then we can revise it later.
But we need to publish it before the meeting, so we need to post it on the door before the meeting.
So we would post it this month,
Mhm.
and then next month we would vote
Right.
on whether or not
So-
it's accepted.
You give everyone in the community an opportunity to speak out about it, so to speak.
Okay, Sherry, what's that ordinance number you've got on that one?
11-2000.
Okay, it's the same one I got there.
So basically, no matter what, we have a month lead time.
I mean, that's been an ordinance since 2000.
Right, but we need to get, because the way some of these laws are starting to look, and we've got 3 here on this side of town, that we can write down.
And then the next thing after that is about the lot up here that's never been mowed. Has a letter been sent out?
Yep,
Chief,
and he responded.
Did he really?
You don't want to know.
Oh!
It is his dream
Nice.
to create an American prairie,
I'll send one, I thought I
and he
forwarded
believes
it.
it's his.
And he's
So-
been on vacation or
Hey,
something.
when
We're done the meeting, I'll read it to you.
Wait,
It's
wait,
fine.
I've got 3 people talking at once, I can't understand anybody. What do you say?
He wants the lot to look like that because he's creating his own portion of American prairie.
Yes.
But that doesn't fall under our ordinance.
No,
No.
it doesn't.
So
It's
he
not
has agreed to
maintained.
mow it.
Oh.
So he has agreed to mow it.
Hey, that's.
I saw it tonight on my way in, so I intend to contact him again to remind him it's not mowed and that the expectation is for it to be
Okay, oh,
mowed.
good, believe me, the neighbors will
When
stop getting
we,
grief on
so
it.
when you do that, can you give him a mobile date?
I want to know exactly when he's
So
going to
that
mow
we
by.
can, because is the weed ordinance standing?
Mhm.
So theoretically, as that stands, we can,
Yeah.
we can charge whatever we need to mow it.
Yep, mow it and bill him, and he knows
then
that.
Bill him, and then, did we ever get confirmation on going through collections for any sort of bills?
I wasn't the one looking at collections, I think.
Charles.
Yeah, so what we need to do, and we definitely need to get voted in, is if we're gonna sell the unoccupied houses delinquencies, we need to field the information that we're gonna need to sell it to collections, just like power companies have your social. You can't go after them for collections if you don't have the data you need on who you're pursuing. So we would need to field that, and like I said, what we had voted on is only people who bounced out of town and abandoned
Mhm.
the bills. That's all we would go after in collections, because it's a 65% recovery versus losing it all in court.
Exactly, yes.
So, but before we could institute that, and I had given the boilerplate contract they give, I handed it out, and I can get another copy of it, and we can discuss that at the next meeting. But the big thing we'd also have to vote on is fielding the information we need from the residents to go
To do that.
to pursue them.
So, saying we can't get that, what other avenues do we have to, for lack of a better term, hurt them into?
Right now, the way it sits is that if it's, I have to look at the ordinance because I don't have it memorized, obviously.
Be
Uh,
extended?
Right, but I believe we put language in, which is what we had discussed with a draft I'd made for this. In that one, it's the possibility of putting a lien on the property.
Okay.
And so that means that when the property is sold, they cannot sell it without clearing the lien.
The only bummer with that is that he's already been approached many times about selling, so that doesn't actually cause him to
Apparently,
do
so
anything about it.
I intend to communicate with him. I've seen it with my own eyes that he hasn't followed through with what he said he would do. So at this point, yes. but I'm happy to contact him again.
Okay. Then, yeah, I would say at this point, we just give him a mow by date, and if it comes down to it, we'll just either will we have to have our contracted mower mow it if we did do it ourselves, or?
I would suggest since that is your contract.
Okay, I want to make sure that was kosher, so, okay, yes, so,
Since you already have a contract with them.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know whether he'd have the equipment.
Yeah,
I know,
I was
right?
gonna say, at this point, it might be a little,
it would have to be a specialty bill, because he's gonna need more hands, different
Uh-huh.
equipment, and it's almost gonna have to be a time and material bid. Because it's gonna take a day to clear that thing at this point.
And it's my suggestion to stay on it throughout the summer, because sometimes I think it gets sporadic. So I would say, stay on it. I don't know how quickly grass grows. I'm not a grass expert or locally here. But if it gets to be unwieldy again, stay on it.
about 2.
What about you fixed
That's what I was
it?
thinking.
You fixed,
Latif had my husband do it when he first bought it, but then he refused to pay, so Jacob stopped. That's been how many years?
Murder
5.
Prairie, and he was below his prairie now.
I know, he was, but.
so can we continue, like, we'll put a deadline and then,
Give him, yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's a deadline, and if he does not mow it by then, we contact our mower to get a price to see how much it would be for him to tackle that property.
and then we can continue, to send him notice of order,
Yes.
ordinance violations. Okay.
So how long is that going to take then?
I mean,
So
basically,
definitely-
We've been messing with this for over a year now.
how,
Yeah, and it just got
how long
ridiculous.
ago did he get back to you guys?
I'll have to look at when I got the email.
Or I guess, how long ago was it mailed out, I should say?
Last month?
I don't
It was
know.
last month.
Top of my
Yeah.
head.
So I would say contact him again, give him 2 weeks to get it cleared. I feel
Yeah,
like
to make
that's.
sure he
that's
knows
fine.
that we're serious.
Yeah.
Because this has happened before, and,
So,
yeah.
That's what I'll do.
I would say, tell him he has 2 weeks to get it mowed. If he does not get it mowed, we will have our mowing company come in and clear the property, and he will be on the line for
Right.
the bill.
Mhm.
And then as the yard grows, if it gets unwieldy again,
It'll just happen, he'll just get it again.
Right.
I think that's gonna be what it's gonna take to get serious action.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
yeah,
my question is on this is, we've got, there's another lot up there on Hancock that is nothing but junk, period. That's all, literally all around us. And at one point, that house was condemned, but this county never did anything about it. So, we need to, that's another one that we need, because it isn't, it's, you can't see, it's like a, I wouldn't call it a
That's
mobile
where we're
home.
gonna do this nuisance ordinance.
Yes, that's,
Right.
that one is
That's
one
why
of the
we're
nuisance
working on
ordinances directed at.
thank you for circling back to that. We need a motion to post.
Okay, so
the
that's
nuisance-
not going to be part of this then?
Not the weed ordinance.
It's not the weed ordinance.
It'll be
Yeah.
part of the nuisance ordinance,
The
which is
nuisance,
the
yeah.
11/2000.
Could I have a vote?
I propose we post the nuisance ordinance and put it
The-
before vote at
right.
the next meeting.
The current one we have.
Current
Okay, so the one I'm
I
talking
would
about,
second
it's
that.
called the junk, it says junk ordinance right on there.
Is it 11/2000?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and see,
it's,
junk is right down here,
Right.
so it's all one ordinance. So
Okay.
I don't know why we're separating them out.
Junk weed, okay.
Well,
oh,
why don't we post what we have and you
nuisance
can,
ordinance, which includes those
which includes junk.
Yes. it's
Yes.
The sub.
weeds, junk.
and you can.
Well, there's the weed ordinance and then there's
Well,
also
they want-
the junk ordinance, the nuisance.
Oh, I
Yeah, it's all
Those are two
combined
different
into
ones,
one
Oh.
on this.
So you want to make this into a single ordinance called a nuisance ordinance.
The weed and nuisance?
We already have the weed.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking
This
the
is just
junk
nuisance.
and,
Yep. This is junk and nuisance.
So
Yes,
we
okay.
post what we have, and then you will create one
Coalesce.
just for nuisance to bring to the board.
This
How's
one
that work?
is nuisance.
So another question I have is like Jim Day's house down there with all the garbage that's in the yard, in the front yard and everything. You're telling me that there's nothing we can do about that because our ordinance doesn't?
I mean, you can send, it's an ordinance, you can send an ordinance violation. I'm gonna have a hard time going to court if we have to sue them. And I think it's-
That held up in court before. That's what I don't understand.
Right,
It
exactly.
held up in court several times.
I can
Two that I know
try.
of.
I can try.
Well, that's all we're asking because we've got to get something done. This is getting ridiculous around town here.
I agree. However, if these are not proper, and if you're working the ordinances, don't you want them to be correct?
Right, but these aren't correct because they've gone to court before. That's what we're
Why don't
saying.
why don't you find me the docket for when this went to court?
Well, if we
I am
had,
not aware of
if
it.
there wasn't so much stuff missing out of the office, it would probably be in there.
Well, Martha, I don't know what's missing.
Well, I'm gonna shut my mouth. Because this is getting ridiculous now. We're nitpicking this all the way around. We don't need to be doing
I
that.
want to know what you all want to do. Do you want to post what we have here? Do you want our attorney to draft a new nuisance ordinance? How do we do that?
I would say
Post what we have,
post
we'll
what we
vote
have.
that in, and then we can amend and revise it after the fact. We need something that's effective.
That sounds good.
Immediately.
Okay, so
Or
we're
immediately,
gonna, let's
that's
vote to
fine.
post what we have. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Charles?
Yeah.
Sean is absent. Martha?
Yeah.
Roger?
Yeah.
Melinda's absent. Carries. Oh, I didn't, oh gosh, let's try that again. I had it written down, look. I had it written down. Okay, let's start over again. Jeremy made the motion. No.
Okay, originally, Jared,
Charles made the motion. Roger seconded. We have to vote again. So sorry.
making sure, okay.
Okay, hang on. We will vote again.
Okay.
Jeremy?
Yay.
Charles?
Yeah.
Sean is absent. Martha?
Yeah.
Roger?
Yay.
Melinda's absent.
Okay.
So we will post what we have and we will work on it and get this enacted as soon as possible.
Give me a
Okay, I need
headache
to
with
run to
that.
get what I just printed.
Okay.
Me too, dear, me too.
All right.
Are we done with this then?
On the note, are we still on the ordinances?
Only if anybody wants to be, yeah.
Yeah, because our water bill is jacked, or our water ordinance is messed up.
What's the matter with the water
The
ordinance?
water ordinance, the past due portion of it, it is not, the water is not to be turned off immediately. We went over it in the March meeting that at the second month, the person would be notified that their first month's bill had not been paid yet, separately from their water bill, saying either pay both of these bills that are past due by the time your third bill is due, or then you will have your water shut off after it was voted on by the board. The way it reads right now is that if you are, the instant you are late, your water can be shut off. One, we can't do that. You have to send out a separate notice saying that your water is being shut off. It being in the water bill negates it. That doesn't work. According to everything that I've found online for Illinois State, you have to send a separate notice from the water bill. But that is regardless. The way we had initially talked about it in the March meeting was that the people would have basically a 2-month window. And then that's when they would be notified, hey, you have 2 months that are past due. You need to pay all 3 months by the time your third month is due, or your water has the potential to be shut off, which would be voted on by the board. We've been having water shut off, which, as it reads in our thing, that is technically how it's right, how it's written in there. That is not what we came to an agreement on. Unfortunately, it was something we all missed when we voted on the water ordinance, so that's on us. We did not catch that when we voted it in. But that it needs to be fixed, because one, we're shutting off water way too fast. And two, we're not doing it properly. We have to give them a separate notice. And I think we owe the people in town that. They should be notified, hey, it happens. You miss bills every once in a while, and missing it by a week and a half and having your water shut off and then having
And
$200
$75 additional dollars added to your bill.
Yes,
because of
is
this. Because you're hitting them with a late fee for not paying it on time, and then you're immediately hitting them with a reconnect fee within a week period. So initially, I thought what we had discussed in the meeting was we hit them with the first late fee, if they're late again, you hit them with the second, and then they have the 7 days to rectify it, and then they'll be shut
Yes.
off. That way if they're, for whatever reason, out of town, or maybe they just forgot to pay the bill, they're getting that second slip so that they're not losing service. Because if Brian can shut it off one day, but no one's in town to turn it back on the following day, that's the issue. We have no permanent party full-time employee that can be back out there the same day necessarily, because I know some of the shut-offs this week, I had to run down and do it. So, and get them turned back on, so.
If we have no employees to do, how do you suggest that we do that?
You turn them off, and I mean, you have 24 hours to turn them back on, but what I'm saying is, that, well, one, Ryan and I discussed, I think the only one that's gonna be readily available that's currently on payroll would be myself. So, I mean, we've talked about it, I can go shut the water off, turn it back on, but my big thing is, if I'm not gonna be available within 24 hours to turn it off, or turn it back on, I'm not gonna turn it off. Because if I can't guarantee we can get the water back on within 24 hours of payment, most of the time they're gonna pay that day, then I don't know that it's fair to shut them off and not have a plan in place to turn the water back on.
We do have to have a plan. We have, if you're going to notify people, if you're going to put it on our front door, we have to know who's going to do it
Yeah,
and how's that's going to be accomplished. So we're going to be discussing this at the next meeting to amend.
I think that he's suggesting that
We are-
proposed amendment language
yes.
be posted on the door for the next
So
meeting, so you can vote on it in June.
Next meeting, we do need to rectify it as fast as possible, because it's, like I said, it's kind of unfair to the people in town that every once in a while things happen. And I don't think for one slip up, you should be immediately painfully penalized when a lot of people in town, like, let's be honest, a lot of people in town don't have the money to have that reconnect. That puts them in serious jeopardy where
Yeah,
the bill.
there's some people in town that would over double the bill.
Yes.
So you're going to draft it, I'm going to post it.
And when you're gonna write down what you want as a change, because I don't think that was part of the original changes, so if you wanna just tell me what you want for the change.
Okay.
You wanted a two-tier fine system?
Yeah, so the first month you just get delayed, second month you get delayed, and then you'll have that 7-day window. So you have essentially 30 days to pay the balance and the late fee, or else you'll incur the next bill and that late fee if you miss the second pay date. But I think, like I said, it got shut off pretty quick this time. And I'm all for holding people accountable, but at the same time, a week oversight is a little steep. I mean, and I know that's what we had discussed, is we're gonna get our money back anyway, because in order for the water to get turned back on, they have to pay the balance.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, we can vote to get this up. Can you clarify this for me after the meeting? I can make sure I've got it, and she's got it, and she's got it.
Just the language, and
Language.
what you want, the two-tiered system.
Yes,
And then,
absolutely. 'Cause
Post it for the next meeting.
Okay, so we need to have a motion to do a water ordinance amendment regarding separate notices. I need a motion, please.
I'm motioning to amend the current water ordinance and have it posted before next meeting.
Okay, I need a second, please.
Second.
Oh, I'll let Michael say.
Damn, I was like,
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, Jeremy,
Yay.
Charles,
Yay.
Sean is absent, Martha,
Yeah,
Roger,
Yay.
Melinda is absent. Carries. Okay,
God, you're giving me a headache.
Plastic tables don't quite have the same
no, they just,
shuffling sound.
that's just like it. Okay, now, when I was printing out, everybody got a copy of the water ordinance with their notice this time. When I was printing it out, the printer was stopping and starting. It's probably not ever meant for that sort of thing anyway. We need a backup. I'm gonna pass this around. This thing's actually gone down since I looked at it before. And I'm recommending that we get this. It is a laser, black and white. And we've got the money in the general to afford it, including an extra toner. It takes a high yield toner. It is 8,000 pages. We're not likely to run through that toner in a while, whereas the inkjet, every couple months.
let me ask you this, when did we buy the last print, do you remember?
I don't remember buying it. I just remember. it
Okay,
was
that's
being
what I was
there.
trying to remember, because I couldn't remember if it was you or when it was cost, but maybe it was Amanda. Then it thought,
It could be. Suzette's very fond of it. She's reviewed it. I don't want to take that away from her, but this would be better for general. And what I really like about this particular one is the flatbed scanner is a legal size. I think it's a little bit more room. So I'd like you to take a look at this, and I would love it if we could vote to purchase this. And I'm ready to donate an old milk crate. They're very sturdy, so we need to get a table for it.
What's it all now?
Isn't it on a table?
We have a printer on a printer table.
Where are you planning on getting it from?
Oh, so we're gonna
Staples.
run both
Staples.
of them?
Yep, that's the,
That one looks tall. Did you not see?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
How tall is it then compared to?
don't know.
Okay,
Let me look.
I'm just, that's probably why we're confused too.
Okay.
Well, if we've already got a printer table,
Wow.
why do we
Yeah.
need more to?
No, I mentioned that because if we need it, instead of buying another table,
Oh,
I've got an old milk
okay.
crate, very sturdy, it can sit on, if it
Okay.
needs something to sit on, can't sit on the floor, they don't do real well.
Well,
I mean, because this one is replacing that one.
No,
right?
this one is a backup
No.
and enabling us to do,
I mean-
black and white.
At that point, I would say, I would almost say just to do away with that one.
Well, I would say put the new one in there to keep the old one as a backup.
That,
We can just put the.
you can argue with her about it, she's not
I
gonna be
don't.
happy.
guess. Please don't say we-
No,
No, she's not gonna be happy.
no, but I mean, I don't know how to set it up, the new one. So that's,
Gotcha.
I mean, you know, we've got to think about that. We've got to think about doing that in between when I need to run bills and stuff like that.
I don't wanna move hers, I wanna put this in the office, and all I need is a plug, and I know that our treasurer is also a computer guy, and he can get it set up real fast.
The new ones aren't as hard to set up as the older ones
Yeah.
are, so I would think you'd be able to pick it up really easy.
So,
Well, I guess theoretically, if you ever got comfortable with it, we could just go back to just the single newer one. Maybe.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
obviously, yeah, keep them both.
As long as we can, I'm not,
You use it more than anyone else, so.
right.
yes,
I mean, you're kind of doing catering too. So if you.
no, when I first looked at this a couple weeks ago, it was 409, it was dropped, but the way this works, take my word for it, I bought stuff from Staples for 20 years, and when they start dropping, they start going, and then they're not there anymore. So I was hoping that we could make a motion and purchase this. There would also be shipping and handling, no, it would be free shipping, it's gonna be taxes, excuse me. And then, the toner that does 8,000 pages is 110. So we're looking at,
Are you taxes
For it.
exempt?
I was gonna say, we should be tax exempt, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we've got a tax exempt number.
well, I'm giving you a ballpark. So does this appeal? I hope it does, because it'll give us backup, and no matter what happens, Suzette can print. So do I have a motion?
I think we need to think about it for another month. I really do. Because we're spending money like crazy tonight.
Okay, so we're tabling for June, but at least you've had a chance to look at it.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. New business.
Yes, Sean Clark got the resignation letters to me. I told him he just needed one original, he got 10, so there's enough copies for everybody.
They have been. Did he have them notarized?
Yes,
Yes.
everyone's notarized.
So they're all originals.
Okay, beautiful. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
No worries.
I see Sean.
Anyone
Man,
needs
culture
more,
and
I
science,
know
like I did 3 or 4.
Okay, let the record reflect that Sean Clark has presented a letter of resignation from the board. And please let the record reflect that the president is accepting his resignation.
I vote that we accept his resignation.
Not sure we have to have that, but let's do it anyway.
Mhm.
So Martha's making a motion to accept the resignation. I need a second, please.
I will second it.
Jeremy is seconding. All right, let's vote. Jeremy,
Yay.
Charles,
Yay.
Sean is not born. Martha,
Yay.
Roger,
Yay.
Linda is absent. Carries. Okay, let's see. Is there
Okay,
any
now in
other?
response to that then, I've got a name in mind to replace him immediately on the board, and I think that she would be a good one. Lori Gates would like to come back on, and I think she was really helpful to us the last time she was on the board with a lot of different things.
We will put that in minutes. I don't believe we have any public comment unless there are any other comments about
Yeah.
this.
There's two.
Oh.
One of
Can you
them's
pass
from
it over?
March, it's old. Thank
Is
you.
that what's up there?
Yeah, actions is the first
Yeah.
one already done.
Oh, so we
Yeah.
just recycled the, okay.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay,
Is there,
I got you.
am I good to go then?
yes.
So there is a separate weed ordinance, correct, from the nuisance ordinance, correct? Awesome. The nuisance ordinance is gonna get passed next month after being posted on the door. Is that right? That's the way I'm to understand it?
Provided, I think.
I'm not hearing any answers?
I think yes, as long as we, everything is worded the way we want. I think so.
That's awesome, that's all I wanted to know, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys
Thank you.
digging in there.
yes.
Was there anything else for public comment? I didn't get a chance to see that.
No.
But I'm gonna go
I've
ahead and
got
rotate
a
that.
couple of comments before you close the meeting, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't do that.
There.
Martha, you have the floor.
Okay, this is really hard for me to bring it up, because I really like Sherry, but I don't think her specialty is what we need here for the board. I think we need a different lawyer, who is, basically, I've got a lawyer in mind, and he's in municipal law, is what we need here. And like I say, I really like, you've done a good job, sure, you really have, but I think we're at that point that we need somebody that has a specialty that we need.
What information do you have on them as far as?
His name is Kenny Crossman. He's from Arthur, and he represents several towns around the area. Right off the top of my head, Arthur, Atwood, Newman, are three of them, and then, okay, I can never think the name of the town down at 36 and 130. He represents that town also, but he also has two or three others that he represents periodically, whenever they need him. And that's basically what he is saying, that he would not come to the meetings unless we asked him to.
Let's use your question.
So, I mean, I was impressed with him. I really was. And and I'll say I was really surprised from the way he was talking and everything. And Lori has met him, and I think she feels the same way I do, that she was very impressed with him. But but I would like for him to come to a meeting so you could all meet him if we decide to go with him.
I did some research and I did find out that the board is supposed to be voting on an attorney every year. Whether it's the same attorney or a different attorney, the board is supposed to be voting annually for an attorney so that it can be written up for the, budget every year. So like I said, whether it's the same attorney or a new attorney, it's supposed to be voted on yearly.
Can you quote your source? Your source for that information, just curious.
I did some,
I don't doubt you, I just wondering.
I just did some looking. I don't remember.
So you wanna do this, Martha, because you don't like paying for an attorney every month?
I'm sorry?
You don't like paying for an attorney to come to every meeting?
It's their right to vote whoever they want to have as their attorney.
That is
Right. I mean, and like I say, absolutely nothing, I really like Sherry. I really do, but I just don't think her specialty is what we need for this town. That's the way I'm looking at it. And I'm not using my own opinion. I talked to several different other towns around. They get their opinions on this, and all of them, everyone I talked to kept coming up with the same name. That they were very impressed, that they've had him a long time, and all this. And because I don't trust my own judgment. I just, I get as much information as I can, but I'm not going to make a decision on my own. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. And like I say, we need some help with these ordinances. And I think he would be a good one to do that.
Would you be willing to reach out to him and see if he would be willing to come to a meeting to talk to us about
Yeah,
this?
he would be,
paying him
because
to?
he does want to meet everyone in person. Just so that they can, get an idea of where he's coming from, and he can get an idea of, how we think up here.
What we need.
So, and that was the thing that concerned me a little bit, because Arthur's quite a ways away, and I didn't know if he'd be willing to drive that far enough, but he had no problem with that at all.
Well, I mean, if he's coming to Newman, I mean, that's farther away than we are, I think. Well, I guess straighter on 36, but regardless. I guess we would make him, or see if you can contact him and see if he'd be willing to come to a meeting without us
I can
paying
do
him,
that, yeah,
obviously.
I can, that would be no problem. I could do that, and then, because I talked to him again today, because I had a couple of questions for him that I wanted to clear in my mind, and that's one thing he's done for me. But whenever I've had a question for him, I called him, and he's given me an answer right now on what I needed. And I appreciate it. And Sherry has done the same thing on the general stuff that we've asked, so. And she'll say if she doesn't know something, she'll check it out, which she has. But at the same time, I just feel like that, like I say, and I hope you don't take it personally. I really don't.
It's just work.
But, well,
But I have charged you guys a very reduced rate. I only charge you 125, and honestly, I don't bill you most of the time. So just so you know, when you see the bills for the year, they don't go anywhere near that budget zone because I just don't. So it's no harm to me.
well, I mean, like I say, you've gotten us through some of the stuff, so but like I said, I just feel like we're at the point that we need to.
We have to do something about these ordinances. This has been.
Exactly.
Way too
Yeah,
long.
because we've got to get them straightened out and make sure that they absolutely legal, which we always assumed that they were, and that, there's been some doubts put in our minds about some of them, but at the same time, because, like I say, I'm tired of us being a laughing stock in the town where we live, basically. It's like, you guys never do anything, you don't know what you're talking about, and this is why I get mad, let's put it that way. I just get downright mad when people talk like that about the people in town and what we're not doing, and I've been so pleased with the board members we've got now, because they're working their tails off to get us straightened out and everything. So, like I say, This is where I stand on it.
Would we need any sort of motion to okay that, to have him come in, or can he just come in like we had the various other people come in during public
I'm sure
comment?
that he can contact us and he'll show up if he's not gonna charge us.
Yeah,
No, it's just for coming in and
Yeah.
being introduced to
I
everybody.
just didn't know if we had to put it on the agenda.
No, and then now the other thing is that he's already told me, and find it here real quick. He has already told me that his basic rate, is $1,500 every 3 months. But it depends on what he's done too. But that's his standard rate. I think he had, way he does with Newman, and Camargo, Newman and Camargo, and, yeah, that's basically what they pay him
Mhm.
every 3 months.
Gotcha.
So, if he can get us straightened out, I mean, we can get, I feel like we can get our money back pretty quick. And once we start enforcing these ordinances, you know, around, but here, that's strictly my opinion and where I stand on it, so.
I mean, yeah, at that point, I would say just get a hold of him and like you let him know when our meetings are, and if he can make it, we'll talk to him.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this then. Do you, I can contact him tomorrow, it's no big deal. But do you want to try to get together before the next meeting, or you want to just wait till the next meeting?
I don't know.
Here again, I know you guys are busy with your work schedules and everything, so that's why.
I mean, the meeting would probably be easiest because, I mean, we're all gonna be here. I don't know how anyone else feels, but.
I want some clarification. We are down to 5 trustees. How many can get together and talk about any particular thing?
Well, it would be, you're gonna call it for a study session, I'm gonna guess if you're gonna have a special visit by somebody.
It would
Since you're
have to-
taking it under advisement, I'm
Right,
assuming
yeah.
you'd wanna have a study session.
Yeah.
So,
If you're talking about a special time, or you're not talking about having it at the next meeting.
Right.
I think she was talking about him just meeting us individually,
Oh, I see.
not like everybody getting together.
Right.
Just him
Yeah,
him going
I mean, it's
to
just,
speak
you know,
with each.
Yeah.
He's going to
person
go
that
door to
way it's
door and
not-
speak to everyone.
Then yeah, you could do that.
Well, the board members.
Yeah, if he wants to.
That way there's no.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it.
Then you have to have it come to the next meeting, yeah.
But like I said, I think the 2 of us on the board have young kids and stuff like that, so our nights are pretty full as well. So I think, for me personally, I think the meeting would be easiest for me, but that's not saying that you can't meet other people outside of it.
Well, that's why, you know, because I knew when I went down to see, I didn't want to go by myself, because I know I would miss stuff with my hearing the way it is, so that's why, I asked Lori to go with me, so. And she picked up a lot of stuff that I had missed, so I appreciated that, you know, so, like I said, because I know I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm trying to do the right thing for the village here, so we can get ourselves lined out.
No, I mean, any desire to move forward is a good one, I guess, like, regardless. So,
Is there anything else about Kenny Crossman, or are there any other public comments?
I think we need to, I don't know how do we get Bill Lori back if we,
we'd have to do it in the next meeting.
next meeting, but, so we put that on the agenda for,
I'm the village president, and I will be taking that under advisement, and I will be the individual who suggests new trustees.
Okay, so for the next meeting then, right?
And I will be suggesting new trustee when I suggest a new trustee. Is there anything else for public comment?
So she's trying to.
Okay, I'd like to have a vote for adjournment, please. That a motion? Jeremy's motioning, and who's gonna second?
I'll second.
Charles, second, all right, and let's vote for adjournment. Jeremy?
Yay.
Charles?
Yeah.
Martha?
Yay.
Roger?
Yeah.
Linda's absent. It passes, we adjourn at 8:20.